Give a round of applause for Tim King. Please come on up. Here, you want have a seat there, man.
Nobody in the right mind gives me a hot mic.
Yeah, no one gives you a hot mic, huh?
Generally not.
Did you hear that?
A RIA, no. Years ago, I went to a Dykes and Lonnie seminar where it was all Lonnie dealers, but probably not, no. Well, I spoke at one of your events, and there may have been an equal amount.
Yeah, that's not a Lonnie deal, though. RIA, that's Andy's workshop about
right.
mobile homes. You're going to find people that do mobile homes there, right?
Short-term memory, sorry.
Yeah, I have the same problem. Trust me, it's okay.
Where
I
am I?
do.
What day is it?
Yeah, I know. Well, look, I really appreciate you coming out. I know I asked you late last year at Masters. I asked you, hey, I'd love to have you in. We had Jay. Who heard Jay Sherman last month? Who was here for Jay? All right, yeah, Jay was. That was some good info that he did. Yeah.
How many? Guy's way smarter than I am.
Yeah, makes two of us. By the way, how many of you took up Jay's offer and called him about having lunch or breakfast or something with him? Not yet. All right, and someone told me they were going to, but they said not yet. So.
I call him all the time.
Yeah. I talk to him occasionally, but yeah, good guy. I need my glasses. Sorry, poor eyesight. What could you say? Well, Tim, how long has it been? It's been like 7, 8 years, 9.
Might be 8 or 9, but at this point,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure where the time all goes. My kids were this big. Now they're in college, or one of them anyway. I don't know where that.
With grandkids. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So
thank God I don't have grandkids. I mean, not that they're not good.
Yeah. They're amazing. You get to give them back. It's great. You can play with them and here.
Chocolate espresso. Go home to your mom.
So why don't you, because a lot of people came to hear you. A lot of people are here and they're like, well, what do you do? Why don't you tell us just what do you do these days and then how you got into that?
Well, let's start with how I got into it. So I got in, I was early 2000s. I was at that point in my recent entrepreneur venture, a failed entrepreneur, and about $90,000 in debt, moved back down to Southern California. And I decided that getting into the mortgage business, this is like 05, 06, like everybody's making money in this.
Right.
But it was a very crowded industry. And a very good friend of mine's father was in the mobile home business. And he was old school, didn't understand the modern financing. He didn't know what a 1003 was. And so I said, let me work on financing the deals. And these are, $150,000, $160,000 deals, but there were 3 points in it. So I had a lot of business. And then one day...
Do me a favor, because there's some new people. When you say 3 points, and when you explain that...
Oh, so 3 percentage points. So a $100,000 deal was a $3,000 commission or a brokerage fee for facilitating the loan. So
Sure.
a $150,000 deal would be $4,500.
Okay, just want to make sure, because we have some new people and some are...
Thanks.
Okay.
I jargon off sometimes.
Same here.
And he said, you want to be a salesman selling these manufactured homes? And I was like, okay. I mean, I could use the extra money. And he goes, I'll give you 25% of the net of everything I make on these deals. I'm like, okay. Anything's better than nothing. And I remember doing about a $160,000 deal. I made $4,500 on the financing of it. And then I got a just under $18,000 check for my 25% of the net. And it seriously got my attention.
Get mine, by the way. Anyone? $18,000?
And so I started paying a lot more attention to the business. And I started working more in sales for them. And 08 rolls around. I don't know if some of you younger
Nothing
people
happened in 08.
don't remember 08, but everything fell apart. And the financing for manufactured homes literally fell apart in under 30 days. There were 4 or 5 lenders that within 30 days, no one answered the phone. They were empty offices. And so I'm like, well, okay, I have a problem because I'm in debt. I have a young child coming and I need to make money. And so my first thought was I need to find private money. And so I started calling around, referred to a guy named Chris Carlson. Probably, I don't know if any of you guys know this guy. And I referred to him and I said, I'm looking for hard money. I need to creatively find a way to do mobile home deals. And he says, you're in luck. This weekend in Orange County at that whatever that hotel was right off Dyer Road, 55 and 405. Anyway, it was Jack Miller and Jackie Lang. I don't know, Pete Fortunato. Anyway,
and Pete Fortunato.
And Pete Fortunato were there, and he goes, "Go to this thing." And I'm like, "Well, I'm a little light for the $200." And he goes, "If you don't get your money's worth, I'll send you a check." And he goes like, "I know you don't know me, but trust me, I'll send you a check." I'm like, "Okay." So I go, and I'm sitting there listening, and it's all this creative financing, and your mind's kind of exploding. And I go outside on a break it was a Saturday, Sunday, on Saturday, and I go outside, and I go out back, and there's this grizzled guy smoking a cigarette on this park bench outside, and I look at him, and I'm like, "Are you Mike Cantu?" And he goes, "Why?" I go, "I grew up skateboarding, dude. You're one of my idols." I don't know if you know Mike. He grew up skateboarding for the Pepsi team. And so
real quick, and then Mike became a local legend and still is around and a great guy. And a lot of us that in the industry love and respect Mike, and his time is very precious to us. So when he said that, that's like bumping into an idol and rock star, let alone just for the skateboarding, but for the real estate too.
Thanks for reeling me back in. Squirrel. Anyway, so I was talking to him. I'm like, he's like, "How did you end up here?" I'm like, "Well, I was looking for hard money, and I bumped into a guy, referred to me as Chris Carlson." He's like, "That's my best friend." And so I went, and it was Sunday, and it ended, and I was having a couple beers with Danny and these guys, and Mike goes, "Do you know who Jack Miller is?" And I'm like, "No." "Does he owe you money too?" And he goes, "No, he puts on this event in Reno, which is a 2-day event. I don't know if you guys heard of the Masters of Real Estate that goes on now in Vegas."
Who's been to Masters? I know. All right, good part of the group. Okay.
Anyway, it's a very big creative real estate event that now goes on in Vegas, but it started in Reno. And Mike looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, I know, you're broke." I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "If you go up, and I think the airfare hotel, but it was like $500-600 for the event," and he goes, "If you don't get your money's worth, I'll write you a check." And I was like, "Well, so did Chris offer to do that too." Anyway, so it was, I don't know if you guys know Dyke
Must be important.
Yeah, exactly. It was, Dyke Spotiford, Pete Fortunato, Jack Miller. If you guys follow these guys, they're the godfathers of, sorry, I'm only staring at you. You're not as pretty as the rest of them.
I'm not offended, you're right.
They're like the godfathers of creative real estate, the people that I've met. And, I walked out of there the first day, and my eyes were watering. And I remember Mike looks and goes, "Don't worry about it. Relax. After the third time you listen to him, it'll actually make sense." And I kept going back. And, I met with Mike. I met Aaron. This is 20 years ago. Aaron Mazzarillo. Just a ton of people that I still hang out with today and can still call for creative real estate. What was the question again? Sorry.
we're still on how you got to where you're at now, and that's okay.
Okay.
All
so
right.
Anyway, so after I went to this, I came back, and all these guys from Florida are talking about buying and selling homes and what mobile homes cost for me and sell. I live in Torrance, so I'm in the South Bay, expensive place to live. I'm like, why can't it work for me? And so when the collapse happened, stuff that the model I was taught was, buy an old home for $30,000, throw it out. We call it a pull out, just destroy the thing. Put in a home for $80,000 and sell it for $160,000, finance it in 30 days, and walk away with big checks. So I got my first $17,000 check. And when that disappeared, there was
because of 08. So
because of 08, so there was no financing. And all of a sudden, I started saying, well, why can't I use what these guys taught me? And I'd go to people who had a home listed for $30,000 and say, well, I'll give you $5,000 for it. They're like, great, I'll give you $2,000 down and $3,000 over, 100 months. And they looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, I learned this from Pete. Why would you sell a nice home like this? Well, I live in Idaho. My mom passed away. I inherited this home. The space rent's $900 a month. I have to get rid of it. And I already owe this back rent. And I said, well, I can solve your problem. And so I'd buy stuff for $5,000 of seller financing, back then we could put lipstick on the pig for $4,000 or $5,000. I could sell it for 30, get $5,000 down, and get $600 a month for 5 years. You know, my goal was zero money in, and
But then you were also getting cash flow for a while too.
well, $500 a month for
yeah.
5 years, and I had $0 in. And I just
Think about that again, everyone. All right. Anyone heard that before? Right? All right. That was.
And so I just rinsed and repeated, and I was averaging 2 a month. And so let's say an average of $400 a month. Let's see, 1 year, I'd say $300 a month. 1 year was $3,600 a month in cash flow. Year 2 was $7,200 a month in cash flow.
That's about $100,000. Just shy.
72 is a little under 100,000.
Yeah, just under.
By
just
about-
shy.
by about 28%.
Yeah, still pretty good.
So by year 3, I built this cash flow machine going on. And it was literally from the things I learned. I think it was Gary that taught me.
Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson. If you're not embarrassed by your offer, it's too high. And I would just go in and they're like, why would I take $5,000? Well, because you're $3,000 behind a rent, and when they foreclose, you lose everything.
Let's stop there for a second. Sorry. I want to stop right there because that is a great point. I struggled with that. Who struggles with why would someone sell me a property at such a discount that I can make money? Because obviously I'm taking advantage of them. Who has felt that before in the past, right? How many of you is it?
I did once.
Yeah, I did, right? Okay, understand that what you're doing is if you're solving someone's problem, that they value getting out of that pain and they value that peace of mind that you're going to give them more than that money, all right? So understand that. I did one of my first big deals. I got a killer deal on something where I got basically half off, and the guy threw it at me. And I had just offered them like $160,000 3 weeks before, and then he called me and goes, Evan, I'm just going to sell it again. I'm going to try to sell it again, and this is like 2010. And I said, I just said, man, don't make me go into a bidding war. I told you I'd buy it from you, and I remember I just offered him 150, 160, and he goes, I need 108,000, I need it in 8 days, and I said, okay, done. And I got a $50,000 discount. That was because he needed $108,000 to do something really big in his life. I got a great deal, and I thought I'm taking advantage of him. But once I realized he went on to make 7 figures with that money. So understand that's an issue you have in your head, and because you want to go ahead and figure out what their problem is and help solve it, which is what you were doing. Yeah, I just wanted to hit that because a lot of people struggle with that.
And I've been approached from. Pete Fortunato always taught me. He goes, never underestimate the equity that people will give up for peace of mind, so they can sleep at night. And I have had, I can't count. Well, I probably count them, but it's probably a dozen or so of situations where I would drip market to homes listed by realtors who have no idea what they're doing and they can't sell it. And I finally get a call, and it's 6 months later because their listing is expired. And, they're like, this is my problem. And I go, did your realtor ever ask you what you needed? And no. I'm the old, why would you sell a nice home like this? My mom died. I got to get rid of it. I can't afford the rent. Do you want something or nothing?
Right. So you were there solving a problem.
Exactly.
By the way, drip campaign. You want to explain? Who does not know what a drip campaign is? Just be honest. It's okay. We just want to. Okay. Would you, real quick?
So drip campaign is where I will find a target, let's say 24 homes I'm marketing to. I will drip a letter to them every month or two, or a postcard. Hey, we buy homes. We buy homes. I mean, I've gotten numerous calls over the years where it's generally the daughter, and she'll call me and she'll go, my mom passed away. I've got 12 of your magnets on her refrigerator, and her nightstand has got 14 of your postcards. You're obviously the guy to call. And those are some of the best deals. Like, I can't be here. I got to go. I can't afford the rent. She's 4 months behind. Can you solve my problem? Yes.
And sometimes it takes years, a lot of times, before you get that call.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's
like,
in a month.
What park are you in?
Yeah, what park? I love the ones where they say, please take me off your list. And okay, great, what's your address? Well, you know my address. I have no idea who you are. I send out a lot of these. I'm sorry. You got to give me an address. Well, I'm not giving you an address. Well, then you're going to keep getting them. I'm sorry. And they get mad at you. It's crazy.
Yeah, a funny one like that's I drip campaign to listed homes, and occasionally I'll get a call. 'Cause I'm a licensed broker and a mobile home dealer, and they'll call them like, "You sent my client an offer." I'm like, "I probably sent a postcard or a letter to buy the home." What are you doing? I'm like, "Is it for sale?" Great. What does she want for it? Do you have any offers? No. Okay, well, maybe we can do business. They call all pissed off.
Right,
and
right.
You're like, do you have any offers? Like, no.
Right. What's on the bottom of some cards, if you're a licensed agent, well, let's say if you're already listed, I've seen this, you're already listed, please disregard because you have a license to protect, right? You know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea. I beg for forgiveness. I don't ask for permission.
Okay. All right. Okay. Because you don't
that
know.
Should probably be in there, but I'm old school.
Right. Fair enough.
That wasn't in my DRE CE courses. So
fair enough.
I don't
fair
put
enough.
it in there. I play stupid.
All right. All right. Well, we'll move on. It's yeah.
I see squirrels everywhere.
Well, by the way, I will say this. I'm not licensed. So if something is licensed and I'm trying to go through, we close next week on a house that the agent was told to call us. Some of you heard the story. But they were told to call us, and because we wanted to buy the house, the property, investment property. And the agent called, and I said, what do they want? And they said, hey, they want to sell to you. And I said, okay. What are they asking? And I went, I'll do that. Done. I know the property. Sounds great. And well, I'm going to talk to them. And I got back from them. I got back from the agent 2 days later. Well, they want to put it on the market for a while and see what they get. Guy was lying through his teeth. I found this out. So anyway, it turned out that I get a call. I see the owner, because it's across the street from a rental house. I see them a week later when my rental house burned down. I literally see them. And everyone was okay. But I was talking to they walked up to make sure our tenants are okay. And I said, hey, I still want to buy your house. And I'd make it real easy. And we went through the whole thing. And she says, yeah, okay, well, he kind of said that, and I just said, I went through all the things we do to get rid of all the stress and solve their problem because they wanted to buy another bigger house, their dream home, because they needed bigger, they had a bunch of kids. And I got to share this, I walked through the house yesterday because we're in escrow, and what happened is at Mixed Lunch with some of you a couple weeks ago, I got a text from a new agent going, they want to sell to you, do you want to buy it? I said, yes, same price, same everything. What happened to the other guy? And they said, she fired them. So yesterday I was in the house, and they said, when you said, Evan, that you're ready to buy, you don't care if you close in 2 days or 2 months or 2 years, and then there was a problem, and I can't find my replacement, we could cancel and do it again next year. I told my husband we're going to do that, and they fired the other guy and got another agent because he was advised them no, and we closed next week. And I talked to them about buying their house 5 years ago, and I've maybe seen them 4 or 5 times over the years with a wave. So those that do, remember, and don't underestimate that. But the point is, you as a non-agent can go, if the agent is throwing a front, I didn't do this, but I can because I'm not licensed. I can go to the agent's he's being a wall, and I don't think he's represented. I can go around. I'm not violating anything.